Most of the work I get hired to create in my shop are new pieces of furniture. Every now and then I get requested to refinish a piece, but I hesitate to take on refinishing projects since I'm not experienced in stain matching or matching finishes in general. So when Minwax reached out to me to give their stain matching process a try, I said yes to refinishing a kitchen table for a close friend. The table was manufactured in Japan in the 1960s, and after 50 years of use by the client's family, it showed signs of chipped finish, scratches, and discoloration. The table features a veneered center field, mitered border, teardrop profiled legs, and a cloud-lifted apron. The first thing I needed to do was remove all of the polyurethane, and to do so I used a paint scraper, which is much faster than sanding, but must be done with a bit of caution or else you run the risk of going too deep and gouging the wood. For a little more control around the mitered border, I took light passes with a card scraper. Next, I used a non-methylene chloride chemical stripper. I applied a liberal amount of the stripper with a chip brush and waited about 15 minutes before scraping it off. Using a chemical stripper is great for those hard-to-reach places, such as the underside of the mitered border, the table apron, and the table legs. Once I removed all the chemical stripper, I sanded the table to 120 grit with a random orbit sander. To remove the discoloration of the wood and return the wood to its natural color, I used 6 tablespoons of wood bleach with a quart of hot water. I applied the wood bleach mixture with a chip brush and waited for the solution to crystallize. The active ingredient in wood bleach is oxalic acid, and to remove the wood bleach crystals, I washed the piece with a mixture of baking soda and water. My client wanted the table to be stain matched to a set of chairs that they already owned. These chairs are significantly darker than the original color of the table and are closer to a dark walnut. So I went to my local Sherwin-Williams and the associate manager was able to provide me with everything I needed to match the color of the chairs. To ensure an even absorption of stain, I used Minwax pre-stain conditioner. The conditioner works by penetrating and temporarily sealing the wood to even out the rate of absorption, which in turn creates a uniform stain coat. After about 15 minutes, I make sure to wipe off any excess pre-stain conditioner. I then do a final sanding to 180 grit to prepare for staining and top coating. I liberally apply the Minwax Performance Series Match Stain with a stain pad. Again, this stain was tinted at my local Sherwin-Williams to match the color of an already existing piece of furniture. The longer you allow the stain to sit on the wood, the deeper the color. In my case, I waited about 15 minutes before wiping off the stain with lint-free paper towels. Minwax recommends a minimum of 2 hours before applying a top coat. However, I waited overnight before applying the first coat of Minwax Performance Series Fast Dry Varnish. A purdy, natural, bristle brush is the ideal brush to apply the Fast Dry Varnish. After 4 hours of dry time, I do a light scuff sanding to remove any dust nibs or raised grain. I then vacuum the work surface with a bristle detachment. I then apply the final coat of varnish. The final coat was dry to the touch after 4 to 6 hours, but 12 to 16 hours of dry time is recommended for heavy use. I allowed the piece to dry in my shop for 48 hours before delivering it to the client. By removing the damaged finish and returning the wood to its natural color, I was able to impart a stain color that closely matches a set of existing chairs. It's a new look for a renewed piece of furniture. Thanks for watching.